Emotions are an emotional state that involves a subjective experience or the impact that is created in one's mind. An objective experience can be experienced by others. Like if two people went to a concert together, they are sharing an objective experience, but since they are different people, they're going to have different subjective experiences. So then what are emotions and how do they create behavioral and physiological responses? Let's jump into that here at Learning the Social Sciences as we will examine the theories of emotions. Over the decades, psychologists have sought to define and classify all the different types of emotions that we experience and those responses that we have to the emotions. Of course, we know that we have different bodily responses based off of the emotion that we are experiencing. One is going to have a different reaction when feeling joy than when feeling apprehension. And of course, it's going to feel different when we are going to be feeling disgust. Over the past decades, 6 main theories have come out to explain emotions and our reactions to them. But really, out of those 6, there are 3 theories that are at the top of the list. The James-Lange theory, the Cannon-Bard theory, and the Schachter two-factor theory. William James and Carl Lange developed the James-Lange theory of emotions. The theory suggests that emotions happen as a result of a physiological reaction to an event. For example, you bite into something that you thought was gonna be so delicious, but instead it immediately turns your stomach. To James-Lange, first you are going to be exposed to the stimulus or the food. Your body is then going to react to it, like having your stomach turn instantly. Then you are going to recognize that you are having the emotion of disgust. Let's look at another classic example. When you see an external stimulus like a snake on the side of the hiking path, your emotional response will depend on how you interpret your physical reaction. If your heart starts to race and your hands tremble, you then recognize that you're experiencing fear. If you are used to seeing snakes, though, and instantly know that that particular snake is no threat, then you don't really have a bodily reaction to it, and so you simply continue to be in the emotional state that you were in beforehand. Next on the list is the Cannon-Bard theory of emotion, which contradicted some of the points of the James-Lange theory. For example, once you bite into that food that you thought was delicious but wasn't, for James-Lange, of course, you're going to recognize the disgust after your stomach starts to turn. But for Cannon-Bard, it happens at the same time. You are going to recognize disgust the same time your body is going like, "Bleh, don't like this." In terms of the hiking situation, well, what happens if while you were hiking you were actually jogging for a little bit? And so maybe you're having an increased heart rate because of jogging, not because of the snake. And so with them, they stated that an emotional response happens at the same time as the physical reaction. When you see a stimulus that results in a physiological reaction, the thalamus sends a message to the brain, which then causes the reaction. The Schachter-Singer theory is also known as the two-factor theory of emotions. It proposes that physiological arousal happens first, and then the person has to figure out the reason for the state and pinpoint the appropriate emotion for it. In other words, a stimulus leads to a physiological response and then is cognitively analyzed and labeled, which then produces an emotional reaction. Now, of course, this is all happening insanely fast. The theory states that similar physiological responses can be associated with different emotions. For example, having anxiety about a test may produce the same response as going on a date with a person that you're falling in love with. You're going to still have that same, accelerated heart rate and maybe sweaty palms in both situations. That's just how emotions work then with the two-factor theory. Thank you very much for listening to this short lecture on the theories of emotions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please list them down below, and always remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.